fellow Nigerians. Events of the past few years have indicated that despite our great human and material resources, the government has not been able to fulfill the legitimate expectations of our people. Nigeria has been left to drift. This situation, if not arrested, would inevitably have resulted in chaos and even bloodshed. In the endeavor to build a strong, united, and virile nation, Nigerians have shed much blood. The thought of further bloodshed, for whatever reasons, must, I'm sure, be revolting to our people.
Hi, I am Damilary, and in this video, I bring to you the history of Murtala Muhammad and how he was assassinated. Murtala Ramat Muhammed was a Nigerian military officer and the fourth head of state of Nigeria. He led the 1966 Nigerian counter-coup in overthrowing the military regime of Johnson Aguiyi-Ironsi and featured prominently during the Nigerian Civil War, and thereafter ruled Nigeria from 29th of July 1975 until his assassination on the 13th February 1976. This period in Nigerian history, from the northern counter-coup victories to Murtala's death, is commonly associated with the norms of the military in Nigerian politics. He was born in Kano into a ruling class religious family. Murtala served in the Nigerian Army as a cadet in the Royal Military Academy, Sandros. He later served in Congo, eventually rose through the ranks to become Brigadier General in 1971. At age 33, becoming one of the youngest generals in Nigeria. 3 years later, Murtala became the Federal Commissioner for Communications in Lagos. As a conservative and federalist, Murtala regretted the overthrow of the First Republic and the promulgation of Aguiyi-Ironsi Unification Decree of 1966. He was devastated by the assassination of Sir Ahmadu Bello and for a time seriously considered the succession of northern Nigeria. His career redoubled after Chukwuma, Kaduna, Izogu, and the young majors coordinated the first military coup in Nigeria of 1966 coup, empowering him to lead the mutiny of the night of 29th of July 1966 in Arewa. Murtala was briefly considered as Supreme Commander before the appointment of Yakubu Gowon. During the war, he commanded Nigeria's 2nd Infantry Division, which was responsible for the death of civilians and much of the rebels. 3 years later, the federal military government declared victory, which boosted Murtala's image over Nigeria and in particular the North as a military leader through the post-war era of reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. In post-Civil War Nigeria, Murtala ruled with more power than any Nigerian leaders before and developed a charismatic authority and court of personality. During the Cold War, he maintained Nigerian neutrality through participation in the non-aligned movement, but supported the Soviet reunion during the later effort of the Angolan Civil War. At the same time, his regime transitioned from being authoritarian into consensus decision-making, with Murtala as the leaders of a military triumvirate alongside General Olusegun Obasanjo and Theophilus Danjuma. The dictatorship softened and Murtala unveiled plans for the demilitarization of politics in 1976. Barely 7 months into his nascent rule, Murtala, without having time to see his plan implemented, was assassinated in a failed coup d'etat, being succeeded by Olusegun Obasanjo as head of state, who in turn led the Nigerian transition to democracy with the Second Nigerian Republic. The legacy of Murtala in Nigerian history remained controversial as the nature of his rule changed over time. His reign was marked by both brutal repression and economic prosperity. which greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. His dictatorial style proved highly adaptable, which enabled wide-ranging social and economic reform, while consistent pursuits during his reign centered on highly centralized government, authoritarianism, federalism, national federalism, and Pan-Africanism. On the 13th of February 1976, General Muhammad set off for work along his usual route on George Street. Shortly after 8 a.m., his Mercedes-Benz car traveled slowly in the infamous Lagos traffic near the Federal Secretariat at Ikoyi in Lagos, and a group of soldiers, members of an abortive coup led by Lieutenant Colonel Bukar Suwadinka, emerged from an adjacent petrol station, ambushed the vehicle, and assassinated Muhammad. Murtala Muhammad was killed, aged 37, along with his aide-de-camp, Lieutenant Akitunde Akinshayiwa, in his black Mercedes-Benz saloon car on the 13th of February 1976. The only visible sign of protection was a pistol carried by his orderly, making his assassination an easy task. The assassination was part of an attempted coup led by Dimka, who was later tried and executed on the 15th of May 1976 for treason. I hope you enjoyed this history, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of our history video. Thank you.
Hole. See the bullet hole. He was sitting down here. There are 4 in number: the ADC, the PA, and the driver. Then the bullet come from the front. The sniper shots come from the front and go to the back where he was sitting and meeting here. If you look up here, you see some blood stain. Here. If you look all the car, you see some bullet hole. This is the original tire that come with it. The 4 tire and the extra. This is the original tire that come with it. We changed it because when it was outside, that's why we tried it in. The car is still working. It's only the battery that we remove. The bullet hole. This is a military flag. The green stand from Army, Navy, Air Force, and Civil Defense. Yeah.